Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning English Podcasts. I'm David. Today we have a very special and long episode. In this episode, I will share an easy English summary of a powerful book. The book is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. But I will not explain it in a complex way. I will share the ideas in very clear English. I will use simple words. I will speak at a calm pace. I will give you many examples, and I will connect every lesson to English learning. Because this podcast is not only about the book. This podcast is made to help you learn English in a clear and useful way. I want you to understand everything. I want you to feel relaxed. I want you to learn new ideas about building habits. And I also want you to learn new ways to practice your English every single day. This episode is quite long. It is like a small guide. It is like a plan for your progress. So, get comfortable, find a quiet place, or take a gentle walk, or prepare a drink, and listen. Let's begin. Okay, everyone. Before we talk about habits, we need to understand what they really are. A habit is something you do regularly. It means an action becomes automatic. It means you can do it without thinking. It means you can make progress easily. And it means you can avoid struggle. For example, maybe you want to speak English. You know speaking is a key skill. You want to talk better. You want to have conversations. You want to feel capable. But maybe some days you feel unsure. You do not want to speak. You do not want to try. You do not want to use new words. This is natural. Everybody experiences this. A good habit is the system that helps you move forward even when you feel unsure. A habit is like a tiny engine inside you. You tell yourself, I will practice one sentence. It is simple. I can manage it. I will not quit. This is a habit. The book says, habits are like compound interest. Small gains add up when you are consistent. If you never start, nothing grows. It is the same with English. If you practice it daily, it becomes easier. Now, let me give you a clear English learning example. Imagine you speak English for 5 minutes every day. 5 minutes is short. You can do 5 minutes after breakfast. You can do 5 minutes during your commute. You can do 5 minutes in the evening. But you do it every day. This small routine builds a powerful habit. After some time, your confidence grows. You feel capable. Your English becomes smoother, and your habit becomes strong. A habit is not about huge effort. It is about tiny repetitions. It is about doing simple actions many times. This is the core idea of this part. Tiny actions, repeated daily, big change. Okay, now let's talk about why habits matter. Why are they important for your life? Why are they important for English learning? Habits give you the power to make progress automatic. If you want a new skill, you need habits. If you want a new routine, you need habits. If you want a healthy mind, you need habits. If you want fluent English, you need habits. Almost every good result in your life comes from habits. Let me give you a very clear example. Imagine 2 students. Student X practices English only when they have lots of time. Some days they practice, some days they skip. Some weeks they try a little. Some weeks they do nothing. Their English stays the same. Student Y practices English for 5 minutes every evening. Sometimes they're busy, sometimes they're distracted. Sometimes they're weary. It does not matter. They will still do 5 minutes day after day week after week, month after month. After 1 year, this student speaks more freely. They understand faster. They feel capable. Why? Because of habits. Habits give you real progress. Habits make your life move forward. Habits make your goals reachable. Without habits, goals stay far away. With habits, goals come closer. This is why the book says systems are more important than goals. A goal gives you a direction for one day, but a system gives you a path for many years. Okay, everyone, many people think goals and systems are the same thing, but they are not the same thing. A goal is a result. A goal can feel distant today and close tomorrow. A goal can change. Some days you aim high, some days you aim low. This is normal. But a system is different. A system is not a result. A system is a process. It is a method. You can feel unsure and still follow your system. You can feel busy and still follow your system. You can feel discouraged and still follow your system. This is why systems are stronger than goals. Let me give you an English learning example. Maybe one day you feel inspired and energetic. You study English for 2 hours. This is focusing on a goal. The next day you feel overwhelmed. You do not want to study. But you say to yourself, I will still do my 5-minute practice. This is following a system. A goal helps you dream. A system helps you do. And for English learning, doing is more important than dreaming. This chapter teaches us something clear and true. Do not depend only on goals. Depend on your system. When a goal feels big, do your small habit. Do not stop. This is the secret. Okay, now let's talk about cues. A cue is something that starts your habit. A cue becomes a trigger. It becomes a signal. It becomes part of your environment. Habits become stronger when you create simple cues. The book says you do not need complex cues. You do not need special equipment. You do not need perfect conditions. You need clear cues that you notice every day. For example, after drinking your morning coffee, listen for 2 minutes. Before opening a social media app, read 1 sentence. While waiting for the bus, name 3 objects in English. After sitting at your desk, repeat 1 new phrase. When you hear a notification, think 1 small thought in English. These cues are simple, but if you use them every day, they make your habit automatic. The book gives one very important rule. Make it obvious. Make it very clear. Make it easier to see. Why? Because obvious cues are easy to follow. When something is obvious, you can start every day. When something is hidden, you forget. Let me give you an English example. Maybe you want to improve your vocabulary. If you keep your notebook in a drawer, you will forget after some days. But if you put a sticky note on your mirror, you can see it. A sticky note is obvious. A sticky note feels easy. A sticky note feels simple. But after some weeks, something happens. Your habit becomes automatic. Your learning becomes consistent. And then you can learn 2 words, then 3 words, then 5, and you grow steadily. The book says it is better to make a habit obvious than to rely on memory. Clear cues build a strong routine. Okay, now let's talk about friction. Friction means something that makes your habit difficult, something that slows you down from your practice. For example, You want to listen to English, but your headphones are in another room. You want to read English, but your book is under other books. You want to learn vocabulary, but your app needs an update. This is friction. The book says one easy way to build a habit is to reduce friction. Reduce the thing that slows you. Make your habit easy. For example, when you want to listen to English, keep headphones on your table. When you study, open your notebook to the right page. When you read, keep one easy book by your bed.
When you practice speaking, prepare one question the night before. This helps your mind begin. Beginning makes habits easier. So, reduce friction, make your environment helpful. This helps you succeed. Okay, the author also talks about the 2-minute rule. The author says any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. The start is full of energy. The start becomes easier when it's short. The start becomes inviting this way. This means you should practice English when the step is very small. For many habits, this is the beginning. For some people, this is putting on headphones. For others, it is opening a website. You choose your tiny start. When your first step is tiny, your habit becomes likely. Now, let me give you an example. Maybe you try to study for 30 minutes, but 30 minutes feels long. Your mind resists. You cannot start. But if you decide to open your English app for 1 minute, it feels easy. It feels light. It feels possible. This is because your friction is low. The book says you should scale your habit down to a 2-minute start, and English learning can start tiny. So choose a tiny start for it. This is a simple idea, but it helps many people. The book also talks about immediate rewards. If you want a habit, you must enjoy the process. You must feel good. You must satisfy your mind. Sometimes you feel impatient. Sometimes you feel like progress is slow. Sometimes you feel a lack of results. Sometimes you feel disconnected. But these feelings are normal. Everyone feels them. The book says you can still continue if you attach a small reward. You can say, I will listen for 2 minutes, and then I will enjoy my coffee. I will read 1 paragraph, and then I will look out the window. I will say 3 sentences, and then I will stretch. I will learn 2 words, and then I will drink some water. Action and reward are connected. You can do one thing and then give yourself another thing. This is a habit loop, so do not wait for a distant result. Use a small reward now. Do something pleasant. This is smart habit design. All right, now I want to talk about the power of identity. The book says something very powerful. Your habits shape your identity. Your identity shapes your habits. Your identity gives you consistency. Your identity is who you believe you are. For example, you listen to English daily. You read 1 short article daily. You speak 1 new phrase daily. You think 1 thought in English daily. These are identity votes. When you collect identity votes, your self-image changes. You think, I am a learner, I am a speaker, I am improving, I am building my English. Small votes are easier than big changes. but small votes build a new identity. The author reminds us that daily repetition is the heart of identity. Daily repetition means you become someone every day, even if it is small, even if it is simple, even if it is brief. Daily repetition is more important than occasional intensity. You can study for 3 hours one day, but if you stop for 10 days, you lose momentum. But if you practice for 5 minutes every day, you grow steadily and surely. You become that person. The book says identity grows when you vote for it again and again. English ability also grows when you practice it again and again. If you listen every day, your comprehension becomes strong. If you speak every day, even for just 1 minute, your fluency grows. If you read every day, even if just 1 paragraph, your vocabulary becomes familiar. If you write 1 sentence every day, your grammar becomes natural. If you identify as an English user every day, English becomes part of you. So, daily repetition is gentle. It's simple, but it's very transformative. The book also teaches a very important lesson. You will miss a day. You will skip sometimes. You will feel unmotivated sometimes. You will forget sometimes. This is human. You are learning. The important thing is not never failing. The important thing is returning quickly, coming back, restarting. For example, maybe you skipped your English practice for 2 days. Do not feel shame. Do not feel frustrated. Do not say, I have failed. Say, I will continue now. I will do my 2-minute start. I will keep my identity. A habit is not about never missing. A habit is about returning fast. Many of my listeners skip sometimes. They feel guilty. They feel stuck. They feel behind. I always tell them it is normal. You can return. You can continue. You can be consistent. So be kind to yourself and start again. This is habit resilience. Your environment shapes your behavior. Environment means the space around you. If your space is cluttered, you will act distracted. If your phone is next to you, you will check it. If English materials are out of sight, you will forget them. But if you put your English book on your pillow, you will see it. If you have an English podcast app on your home screen, you will tap it. If you leave a notepad on your desk, you will write. Your environment makes your habits easy or hard. But you also need a belief, a story. A belief gives you strength. A belief gives you patience. Why do you want this habit? Why do you want this English skill? Maybe you want to connect with people. Maybe you want to understand global news. Maybe you want to read books. Maybe you want to boost your career. Maybe you want to challenge your mind. Maybe you want to enjoy songs deeply. When you have a belief, habits become meaningful because you know the story behind your work. The book also says something very simple. If something is satisfying, you continue. If something is frustrating, you stop. So, how can you make habits satisfying, especially for English learning? Here are some simple ways. Track your progress. Mark a calendar. Use a simple app. Keep a short journal. Celebrate a small streak. Tell a friend. Choose methods that feel good. For example, listen to music with English lyrics. Watch a short funny clip. Read about a hobby you love. Have a simple, positive chat. When something is satisfying, your brain enjoys it. Your brain feels rewarded. Your habits become sticky. But the author says you do not need to do a lot. The first tiny action is enough. You only need to begin. The first tiny action gives your brain momentum. After the first tiny action, the next action becomes simpler. For example, you want to practice English, but you feel resistance, you feel busy, you feel distracted. Tell yourself, I will practice for 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds. This is the first tiny action. After 60 seconds, you often continue because your brain is already engaged. The first tiny action is the key. The first tiny action is the switch. The first tiny action is the foundation. Okay, now I will give you a very simple plan inspired by the book and designed for English learning. The plan is clear. You can follow it every day. It builds habits. It improves English.
When you wake up, say good morning in English. After lunch, listen to one short dialogue. In the afternoon, read one social media post in English. In the evening, name 3 things you see. Before sleep, write 1 thing you learned today. This is all. 5 tiny actions, 5 clear moments, 5 touches of English. This plan makes your learning automatic. It makes your ability grow gradually, step by step. It builds daily habits. It helps you advance. You can adjust the steps. You can adjust the times. You can add more, or you can keep it minimal. The important thing is daily repetition. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Learning English Podcasts. You listened to many ideas, you learned many principles, you learned how habits work. A habit is not complicated. It is not mysterious. It is tiny, clear, and repeated. A habit is within your control. I'm so happy you listened. I'm so happy you learned. And I'm happy you are on this path. Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep trusting your process. Bye for now.